Hello friends, thank you so much for being here. I missed you guys. I took last week off because my boyfriend came to see me, so I had a nice vacation. How have you guys been? So I asked you guys on my Instagram, I did another poll. So you guys chose favorite makeup products, $5 and under for this week's video. Everything that I'm going to be talking about, you can find at Ulta for $5 or less, unless I state otherwise that it's available somewhere else. So if you want to know the best cruelty-free makeup, $5 and under, then let's Starting off with primers. Now this was one of the hardest categories because most primers nowadays are like $10 or more, but I have two options for you guys. So the first one is the e.l.f. Power Grip primer in the travel size. The Power Grip primer is a great dupe for the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip. As you know, I recently had to break up with Milk Makeup Hydro Grip. It was very difficult. We had a very long committed relationship for a long time, but I was unfortunately betrayed at the end. So the e.l.f. one in the travel size, you can get it for $5 on e.l.f.'s website. I highly recommend signing up for their Beauty Insider program. You barely have to do anything and you get free points and free shipping on every purchase. Next, this one is a bit of a cheat, but the NYX Dewy and Matte Finish setting sprays, you can get a small size. It comes with 0.6 ounces and those are $4. And that is available at Ulta. Now I'm including this in the primer section because, like I said, I could not find any other primer for $5 or less that I have tried that I am comfortable with recommending to you guys. But I've said before, you can use setting spray as a primer and it's honestly very effective. If you have oily skin, using a matte setting spray will help mattify the skin at the root instead of trying to mattify over top of all the makeup and skincare that you've already applied. Those are my recommendations for primers. I am so sorry, but I could not for the life of me find a foundation or tinted moisturizer that was $5 or less. I know that Believe Beauty is at Dollar General, so for those of you in the South specifically, check out Believe Beauty. I've heard a lot of good things about them and their foundation is the only one that I could find that is $5, but I haven't tried it myself. So unfortunately, I don't have any foundation recommendations. However, I do have two concealer recommendations. First one is a classic LA Girl concealer, the Pro Concealer, specifically their color correctors. They have a great shade range. I love the formula. It's very easy to work with, doesn't dry too quickly, and it's extremely thin. This concealer does crease on me if I don't set it, so that's definitely something to think about, but it's just easy. It's very easy to use. Shade range, like I said, is great, and they have really good color correcting options. They have a peach one, I believe like a yellowish one. They have a purple one, a green one. And my next concealer recommendation, this is a really old concealer, the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Concealer. I don't know if this one is 10 plus years old. I just haven't heard anyone talk about this in so long. But this was a favorite of mine like all throughout college. It's super affordable. It's like $4.49. Check for this concealer at CVS specifically. But this one, it sets itself. I don't feel like I need to set this concealer. The shade range could definitely be better. I'm so sorry for deep dark skin tones. They don't have an option for you. Check out LA Girl for your shade match. But the Wet n Wild one, it gives you like a satin matte finish, very blendable. It's a little bit thicker than the LA Girl one, so that one's a classic. Moving on to blushes. Now, I could not find a cream blush, a cream or liquid blush for $5 or less anywhere. So all of these are powder blushes, which are personally not my favorite, just because I have dry skin and I just find like creams and liquids, I'm not even wearing blush today, but creams and liquids just look better. But these ones are definitely gonna work. First one is a classic as well. This one you can find at Ulta, and it is the Essence The Blush. They only have 2 or 3 shades, but this reminds me kind of like if the Burt's Bees blushes and the ColourPop Super Shock like had a baby. It's a creamier powder. It does not feel dry at all, and they're very buildable. They're not too pigmented, but they're not matte. They definitely give you a satin glow. You can amp it up with a little bit of highlighter. Those are really beautiful. Next, we have the Wet n Wild Color Icon blushes. And these ones I would get at Target and other places. They were $5.99 at Target. They are $5 and under. Those ones are definitely better if you just want a completely matte blush. They definitely have matte options. And also if you are of a tan or deeper skin tone, those blushes are going to show up on you way better. The Essence ones I would definitely skip out if you are a tan or darker skin tone. And then lastly, JCat Beauty. A lot of their stuff is a miss for me, but they're blush mallows. If you've ever tried the Item Beauty blushes, they're kind of like the ColourPop Super Shock blushes, but more like fluffy. The texture is really interesting. They come in like really pigmented, loud colors. So if you're looking for a more natural blush, I would go with the latter two. But if you are of a deep skin tone, you would really like these. They're super easy to work with. They're cream to powder, so they last a long time. You can use basically any type of method to apply them, and they seamlessly blend into your skin and they show up. They're extremely pigmented, so I definitely recommend dipping the brush into the component and then tapping off the excess on your palm just to make sure that it's more workable. But for deep dark skin tones, you guys would love the JCat Beauty Blush Mallows. Next is bronzer. Let's go to Target and check out the Wet n Wild Color Icon bronzers. Now these ones, they look like they have like a bit of a satin or like shimmer in them, but honestly, like they come across as a satin, basically matte formula, and these are extremely pigmented. You have to be really careful with these. The packaging kind of sucks, I will say, with a lot of the Wet n Wild components. You're getting what you pay for, but these ones are great. I love to wear the Color Icon bronzers in the summer. They're very sun-kissed, very summer, very jutesy. So check those out at Target. And then another Wet n Wild product are their contour palettes. It's kind of hard to find them nowadays. I'm hoping that they aren't going to discontinue these because these have been around for like 15 years. And I love both shades. I like the Caramel Toffee shade more. That's the one that comes with the banana powder, just for my preferences and my skin tone. But look for these at Rite Aid, and a lot of other places are like $6, $7. But go to Rite Aid and they're like $3 or $4. And this great, like very natural, very smooth powders, very buildable. So they're great for beginners. If you didn't know, on this channel, we only support cruelty-free makeup and brands and products. So Rimmel is finally cruelty-free and they are available at Rite Aid. And I recommend the natural bronzers. Like I said before, deep dark skin tones, you're not going to find your shade in this one, but if you are my skin tone or lighter, you will be able to find your shade. The powders are very light and thin, very buildable, but they stay a really long time. Like the Stay Matte powder, I used to use that all the time. So their products are very good if you need something to stay. Now, I don't have any highlighters for you. Of course, I'm sure most of you guys know the Essence Pure Highlighters, but I've already talked about those before. I honestly couldn't find any other highlighters that I would confidently recommend to you guys. So I'm sorry that I don't have any solid highlighter recommendations in this video. But let's go ahead and move on to lips. I have several lip products to share with you. And first, let's talk about lip liners. I actually have these in my collection currently, and they are the NYX Suede Matte Lip Liners. These are only $4 at Ulta. And my favorite shades are Mason. I've talked about Mason. It's actually the lip liner that I'm wearing today. This is my favorite contour color. And then my second favorite shade is Cold Brew. So it's Mason and Cold Brew. These are perfect if you need another lip product to last longer and stay in your lips and not bleed and get messy around your lip line, these are your go-to. You're going to love these. I love the shade range that NYX has in like all of their lip products. They have tons of shades for every single skin tone. You can find whatever nude, pink, anything, they have it. And I love these because they have a grip to them. Like when you put a gloss over top, anything that has more of a slip, you don't have to worry that your lip liner is also going to slip and bleed with it. These just really lock in the color and whatever else you put on top of it all day. And the other lip liner I have to recommend, I've spoken about recently, and they are the Milani Color Statement Lip Liners. Look for these at Walgreens because I believe at Ulta they're like $7 or more at Walgreens. They're on sale for like $3.29, something like that. So definitely check them out. They have like a little bit more glide and they're not as long wearing as the NYX ones, but if you find a color that you like better in the Milani ones, I don't think you'd be disappointed. The e.l.f. Lip Exfoliator. This has been around like since the beginning of e.l.f. I've gone through dozens and dozens and dozens of these. They come in a bunch of different like scents / flavors. I definitely wouldn't recommend swallowing the lip scrub. This is so convenient because I don't really like lip scrubs that come in like a little tin where you have to like scoop it out with your finger. That can get a little bit messy. So it's just super easy and quick to get all the dead skin off. They smell really good and they also leave your lips soft like you just put on chapstick. So the lip exfoliator you can find at Ulta along with these other two recommendations. First one is from Essence and it is their Extreme Shine Volume Gloss. These are dirt cheap, like $3, and they come in a bunch of different pretty colors. They have a clear one. These are plumping, but the sensation is very light, kind of like the e.l.f. lip plumping glosses. The sensation goes away pretty quickly. So if you are sensitive to that, I think you could still find these comfortable. My favorite thing about these is that they're just so shiny and reflective. They give you the juicy shine, the sparkle. And my last lip recommendation I spoke about recently as well are the Wet n Wild Megalast Catsuit Matte Lipsticks. They're the ones that come in a lipstick bullet. The best thing about these is that they really do last. All of the Megalast lip products that I've tried, and I've tried just about all of them, are just super long lasting. I have a couple recommendations for the eyes, and starting off with e.l.f. I've spoken about these before, but they're No Budge Cream eyeshadows, the ones that come in the pots that came out last year. These are insanely pigmented. I'm just gonna like very quickly swatch this white one. Also, the No Budge eyeshadow sticks are truly no budge. They're very workable. Both with the sticks and the pots, they do set down, but you have enough time before they set down to blend them out in whatever way you like. But when they set down, they are sweat proof, waterproof. You guys know my eyeshadow favorites already. I'm not even going to mention the obvious eyeshadow quad that I've spoken about in like every single video. That, of course, is something I would recommend, but I want to give you all some new recommendations. So I'm not going to talk about the obvious pick for eyeshadow, but the Wet n Wild Coloricon 5-pan eyeshadow palettes are still a staple. I wouldn't necessarily go for the ones that have colors in them, like purple or blue. They don't show up that well. They're not the best pigmented or blendable, but all of like their neutral color stories that they have in the Coloricon 5-pan palettes, you will enjoy. They're super buildable. The shimmers are reflective. They're not foily, so if you're looking for something super metallic, I would maybe try JCat Beauty. I know it has some really affordable glitters and metallic eyeshadows, but if you love matte eyeshadow, you will love these. If you love like a soft shimmer in the center of your lid, you would also really like these. The only mascara I have to recommend to you guys is the Essence I Love Extreme Volume Waterproof Mascara. Specifically, if you want your curl to hold if you want a curling mascara, something that's going to really lift your lashes, but this is not too waterproof where it's hard to take off. So it's a great in-between mascara that just works. And my last recommendation, again from Rimmel. I've been mentioning the Rimmel Scandaleyes Waterproof eye pencils for a really long time, but now I can finally actually recommend them to you guys because they are cruelty-free. So check these out at Walgreens. They're the cheapest at Walgreens, specifically the nude eyeliner color in the Rimmel Scandaleyes pencils. That is my favorite nude eye pencil. I love it way more than the Essence one, ColourPop, Wet n Wild, like any other pencil. Rimmel Scandaleyes, if you need a really long-lasting pencil that's going to stick, that's going to stay, that's not going to fade or bleed away or smudge, try those eyeliners out. The only brow product that I can confidently recommend to you guys is from e.l.f. This is available at Ulta, and it's their Lock-On Liner and Brow Cream. And this is great because you can use it as a brow pomade or eyeliner, even eyeshadow. This doesn't dry out, it's not too hard, and it's not too slippery either. It's just the perfect consistency where, very similar to the No Budge eyeshadows, once you apply it however you want, it does set down. They are not as smudge proof as the eyeshadow pots from e.l.f., but I think that they would still get the job done. The powder that I'm going to be recommending is the Wet n Wild Clarifying Finishing Powder. Now, this is a finishing powder. It's great to add blur, to add light coverage, to add very smooth finish to your skin, but this is not the best to actually set your makeup. I would definitely rely on the NYX Dewy and Matte Finish setting sprays for that purpose, because it is not a setting powder. I don't have any cruelty-free setting powders, $5 and under, to recommend to you guys, unfortunately. But this one is great, not necessarily to blur, but just to add a very smooth, creamy finish to your makeup. And lastly, I'm going to be talking about some very affordable eyelashes. So at Ulta, the only affordable eyelashes that I have tried that I recommend are the Ardell Wispies, just the single pack. They're like $4.99 or less. Those are at Ulta. But I would definitely go to Rite Aid. If you're looking for affordable lashes, Rite Aid has definitely the best price for their lashes compared to any other stores. And the ones that I recommend the most are the Ardell Demi Wispies, the Double Up Wispies, which I actually have right here. This is what they look like. And then lastly, the Studio Effects Demi Wispies. They're like the Demi Wispies, but a little bit more flared at the end. And those are all at Rite Aid for less than $5. Then we go to Target to get our lash glue. The best lash glue ever, the only one that I've ever used and will constantly repurchase, is the Ardell Duo Lash Adhesive in the clear color, in the green packaging, the one that's infused with vitamins in the green. That is the best lash glue. Get that at Target for $5 or less. And then lastly, if you want to try a different brand other than Ardell, I love Shop Miss A's lashes. Their in-house brand is AOA Studio, and all of their lashes are vegan. They're all made in the USA, of course, cruelty-free as well. And y'all already know my favorite lashes of all time. Miss Jeju from Shop Miss A. Super fluffy, a little bit piecey, and give you like a cat eye effect. I love lashes that are like tapered like this. So I definitely recommend from Shop Miss A, of course, Miss Jeju. I also recommend the styles Vanessa. Those are like way longer and piecey. They're kind of like wispies, but on crack. I love those. Super long. And the style Tori. Those ones are not piecey at all. They're definitely more like a foamic vibe. And they kind of slant like outwards. They're great if you love a cat eye effect. All right, and those are all of the recommendations for the best cruelty-free makeup, $5 and under. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe. You already know the drill. I'm sending you guys so much love and light, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!